right, so a lot of people are always wondering what the best neighborhoods are here in Phoenix, and there are so many to consider, but one of the top ones that is one of my favorites, a place that I've chosen to live in, neighborhood of Arcadia. And so in this video, we're gonna talk about the top 10 things that you need to know when considering Arcadia, give you a little tour, and stick around to the end because all of them could be important to you. So stay tuned. What's up, everybody? It's Greg Corbett with the AZ Lifestyle Group right here in Phoenix, Arizona. If this is your first time to this channel and you're looking to find out everything you need to know about what it's like living in and or moving to the Phoenix metro area, including right here in Arcadia, then make sure to hit that subscribe button and click the bell so you can be notified whenever we post a new video. We are helping people from all over when it comes to finding the best places and neighborhoods to live here, and we absolutely love it. So if you're even thinking about making a move and you need any assistance whatsoever, give us a call, send us a text, shoot us an email. However you want to get a hold of us, we got your back when it comes to moving to the Phoenix metro. All right, Chip, so the first thing that we want to let people know about when we're talking about Arcadia is location. Let's give everybody kind of a general idea of what we're looking at. I think we picked a good spot. We are up on CAMELBACK right now, looking out basically towards the zip code of 85018 and the neighborhoods of Arcadia. So kind of give people an idea of what this encompasses.
Yeah, so if you look a little bit to the west, and I'll point out on the map, we have 44th Street, which is, like I said, about a mile east of us. Then you go all the way to 68th Street. So from 44th to 68th is about 2.5 miles. And then just out in the foreground, you have the Salt River Canal, which essentially starts the south boundary for Arcadia, and then comes essentially to where we're standing right now, to CAMELBACK Road. And that would be Arcadia proper.
We've got the Papago Buttes in the background. That kind of hits where Tempe, where you're running into Tempe. And then you see, you may or may not be able to see from here, the airport tower. So you're really close to the airport. You've got downtown Phoenix over here. And then we're basically bordering Scottsdale. So you can't see Scottsdale from where we're at location wise, but we're on the border of that.
Yep.
We've got Paradise Valley on the other side of the mountain. So you're in the kind of the center of everything. What else am I missing, Chip?
Yeah, so just east of here by, I'd say like 10 minutes, you have the north central Phoenix area, which starts in the midtown uptown area, about 16th Street. So you figure the border of Arcadia is 44th, about 2.5 miles, you hit 16th Street and you're in that north central area. And then also before there, you have the Biltmore area. The Biltmore shopping and the Biltmore neighborhood is literally about 2 miles west of where we're at now.
All right, the next topic on our list of important items you need to know, which I think is a big one, it's the canal.
Yeah.
Like you have the canal that goes right through the entire zip code of 85018. We're sitting just north of Indian School right now. We're walking up next to Oso. This is where a lot of people kind of ride their bikes up. You can go, they've got a back patio that sits out there. And then if you look behind us here, then you've got the whole backdrop of CAMELBACK. So Chip, as we're walking, we're seeing it's midday, so it's not crazy busy right now, but we're seeing a lot of people out jogging. Do seeing people walking their dogs, taking their bikes out. You can go to quite a few places from here. In your experience, like where do you typically go on the canal when you're out kind of cruising around?
Yeah, I guess what really connects me to the canal too, and why a lot of people are moving here, is for our weather and the outdoor activities. So in Arcadia, you can hop on this canal and you can ride it without traffic, run or bike to Old Town Scottsdale, into Tempe, and all the way down to Mill Avenue. Or you go west, you go into Central Phoenix, and you can literally get essentially to Cardinal Stadium from here on this canal path and the other path.
That's a long jog. It's a lot of fun. It's really good access for anybody who lives in the
neighborhood. Look at this access too. As you ride your bike, you got bike racks right here, and you just walk right into Oso and grab yourself some brunch and some mimosas. And I mean, they give you bike access right here off the canal. So
can we go right now?
Let's do it.
All right, Chip, so as we get back in the car here, one of the next big things that you just can't miss is CAMELBACK Mountain. And CAMELBACK is the major backdrop to the entire zip code of 85018. You can see it from other zip codes as well, but you know, it's a major factor for anybody who's looking to live here, because you can see it from every single neighborhood. Yep. You've got lots of good views from anybody who owns a home in the neighborhood. So obviously there's a lot of access if you want to go hiking or trail climbing, that type of thing. With you growing up here, what are some of the things and memories about CAMELBACK that you remember?
Yeah, I mean, I spent a lot of time going up and down CAMELBACK as a kid, and growing up off of 56th and Indian School. You know, I was like 4 minutes from the trailhead, and then my first job was at the Phoenician Resort, which is at the base of the mountain. So yeah, I had like a 2 stop sign drive to get to work.
That's got to be a fun job.
It was a great first job. But yeah, I mean, it's CAMELBACK is kind of a staple when it comes to Phoenix and the Arcadia neighborhood. So being able to have views of it from almost every property in here it's priceless.
Yeah, you can't miss it when you're driving around. You can't miss it when you're just kind of walking around your neighborhood, no matter what neighborhood you choose. So yeah, it's definitely a huge factor and something that I think is important for people to know before they move here. All right, so the next thing that people need to know when you're searching around the area is the difference in neighborhoods, because it can get somewhat confusing, because Arcadia, the name, is used in general for the zip code of 85018, but it's also it comes from the true Arcadia neighborhood that we're currently driving through right now. So Chip, what do you consider Arcadia proper or true Arcadia?
Like boundary wise, from 44th Street to 68th Street, and then the canal, which essentially is just north of Indian School, to CAMELBACK, and that kind of geographic rectangle is what I would deem Arcadia proper.
And I would agree. I think most people would agree with that. So you have this section. We're driving through it right now. It is very well known. It has some of the most beautiful homes that you will ever see, and some of the most expensive as well, but for good reason. And but there are a couple other shoot-off. There is also Arcadia Light, which is 32nd to 44th from Indian School to CAMELBACK, and then you also have Lower Arcadia, which is south of Indian School, from about 44th to 56th. So all of these neighborhoods have a lot in common when it comes to mature landscape, really kind of a mix of older homes that were built back in the 50s and 60s to stuff that's currently new infill construction now.
Well, and one thing that I notice about Arcadia Light to Arcadia proper is the pride of ownership. There's not HOAs in here, but it definitely feels like there is. There's so much pride of ownership in the land here. Yeah, just pride of ownership.
So the next thing we want to share with you guys is flood irrigation. So the area is known to have larger lots. These areas were, a lot of them had the citrus groves at the time when it was first developed, so they needed flood irrigation from the canal system come in. So when you look around a lot of these lots, you're going to see huge lots that were bermed up. That's to contain the water, and so you'll get like flood irrigation once or twice a month. All right, so with flood irrigation comes some pros and cons. Chip, what do you think are we talked over a few pros. What do you think are some of the cons?
Some of the cons is you would think that by signing up for irrigation that the city would come do that for you, but that's not the case. There are certain schedules based on which part of the neighborhood you're in, and you might be coming out at 2 in the morning and flooding your front yard because that's when it's scheduled. So that would be a con, or you could hire somebody to do it, but
there are people that will come out and do it. But yeah, you could have like your neighbors are set for a certain time, so maybe somebody's set at 1 in the morning, then you're at 2 in the morning, then your next person's at 3 in the morning. It's not always like that, but you do have to kind of go on the schedule. It's important to kind of look at it as its own topic, and that's the proximity of the zip code and Arcadia neighborhoods in general to other hotspots around town. So, what are the first things that kind of pop into your mind as far as, proximity, location driven, like to areas that people want to be?
Yeah, I mean, the Biltmore area, the shopping and retail, and just the residential, we're like 2.5 miles from there. And then Scottsdale and Old Town Scottsdale. We border Old Town Scottsdale essentially, so a walk on the canal or a quick 2-minute drive, and then the Tempe area is literally just south of us by 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, you know, so Scottsdale, Biltmore, Tempe. I mean, we've talked about the airport proximity. We've talked about proximity to Camelback Mountain, downtown Phoenix, North Central, like all the really hotspot areas that you can be there in 10 to 15 minutes max. So it really, you know, that's one of the huge reasons why people like being here. And you know, from a job location too. I mean, a lot of people are working remotely now, but for people that do still have to go into work, you're in an area where you're probably going to be close to work as well.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so next up, and it's good that we're driving because it keeps, every time I think about this list, I think of something else. And the next thing that pops into my mind while we're driving down the street is all of the amazing dining, nightlife hotspots, the resorts. There's a long list, so I don't know, do you have any favorites, Chip, that you can mention that we can kind of bring up?
Yeah, I mean, if you date back, Steak 44 used to be a place called CORK CLEAVER back in the day.
Oh yeah.
But now Steak is just a really nice high-end steakhouse at 44th and Camelback, and then
Highly recommend that one. Yep.
yeah, really good. And then I think a lot of people think of the Henry, which is a Fox concept restaurant just on the other side of Camelback, and it's like a coffee shop, co-work restaurant. I don't know how you describe it. It's like this massive hangout that serves food and drinks.
Yeah, no, it's a good, and it's good all day long. Like Chip said, you can show up in the morning, have a meeting with coworkers, have a coffee, have breakfast. It's a great lunch spot, it's a great dinner spot. Takes care of your needs all around. I'm trying to, I mean, again, it's so hard because there's so many great spots. It's hard not to mention any of the LGO restaurants between Le Grand Orange, Chelsea's Kitchen, Buck and Ryder, you know, all of those, Postino, a lot of the places. So I think this is important to note too, a lot of the places that now have grown and now are in other areas of the valley started right here in the zip code.
Yeah.
And they became so popular here that they branched out into other areas. So but here are the originals for sure.
All right, Greg, so as we've been talking to people that have been, you know, considering this move to Phoenix, one of the big things on their list is the schools and the surrounding school districts. And when it comes to the Arcadia area and the school districts here, yeah, what are some of the things that you find that most people, you know, that they're looking for?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think when a lot of people are searching around the zip code, trying to figure out what the best neighborhoods are, they're going to be trying to figure out what the best schools are, or where the best schools are too. Scottsdale School District tends to be very popular, so for anybody that's looking around, you got to know that Scottsdale School District is going to be on the east side of 40th Street. So anything east side will put you in Scottsdale School District, and most of the zip code. Anything on the west side of 40th Street is going to put you either in like Phoenix Union or Creighton. So if Scottsdale School District is important to you, then you got to make sure to know to be on that east side of 40th before making any decisions.
Yeah.
But overall, like, there's a lot of great schools in the neighborhood. HOPI in Arcadia proper is probably the most well-known. That's probably the top elementary school, but Tavon has been, you know, on the up and rising as well. We just passed by Ingleside. You've got Arcadia High School. There are some great charter schools. We've got Veritas, like one of the Great Heart schools.
Yeah.
And yeah, so there's a lot of schools to consider, and some other options as well. But
There's some private school options in here too, like
Yeah.
Christ Lutheran.
Phoenix Country Dade is a good private school.
Yeah.
So yeah, lots of good school options if you're interested.
So one of the things that a lot of people want to know about Arcadia is obviously the homes, the home styles, the lots, and then the price point. So one of the big things that I distinguish with Arcadia is big lots, because it's old citrus groves, and a lot of ranch style homes that have been either upgraded or there's new construction in here. But you have a very unique feel with a ton of character. And Greg, what's the vibe that you get with the homes in Arcadia?
Yeah, I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head. Like, it's super unique. Everything has like a little bit of character to it. It's very charming. It doesn't have the same feel that you're going to find in a lot of the other newer built communities. You know, whether that's in the East Valley, Chandler, Mesa, Gilbert, Queen Creek, even out to the west side in Peoria, Glendale. Like, a lot of those newer subdivisions have kind of a similar, those master plan communities have a similar feel to them.
Yeah.
This is totally unique. I think, you know, we just did a tour in North Central.
Yeah.
That's very similar to what we're dealing with here. So Phoenix just gives you kind of a different overall look, and the homes, you know, you've got a little bit of everything, and you can find homes that are definitely older and need a lot of work, and then you have these brand new homes that have just been built, and then you've got homes that have been remodeled throughout the years, but all of them are very, very unique.
People are going to want to know is, you know, cost of living and home prices. How would you articulate that to the viewers? Like, hey, I'm thinking about Arcadia, A501A, like, what can I expect for home prices?
Yeah, no, and I think it's important to kind of understand. So with everything that we've kind of laid out for you guys, you know, we're in a very highly sought after area for a lot of reasons, and with that comes higher home prices. So, you know, if you're looking around the neighborhood, there's going to be certain pockets that are going to be higher than others, but for the most part, you know, entry-level pricing is going to be a little tricky. So you know, look for most of the time in the zip code. If you're looking at a single-family home, you're probably going to be in the at minimum 4, probably more than likely minimum 5, and you know, maybe there's condos, townhomes you can get for lower prices, but and then all the way up into the multi-million-dollar range.
Yeah, sky's the limit.
All right, so Chip, a lot of things to consider when you're looking to move to the Arcadia area, Arcadia neighborhoods in general. So many things to think about, so many things to love about it. So, in a little bit of a recap, what are kind of the top things, the top reasons you would think that people would consider being here?
Yeah, I mean, the top of my list is just the general location, how close you are to almost everything in Phoenix Metro. I mean, you're right in the heart of it. And then the neighborhood itself, I mean, it's really kind of a one-off neighborhood. You don't really get this feel, the character, the type of landscaping, and then the uniqueness in the homes really in any other neighborhood in the valley. Maybe the Central Phoenix neighborhood is similar, but this is definitely a one-off neighborhood in my opinion, and it's what draws so many people to this area.
Yeah, and everything around it, you know, when it comes to amenities, you know, being close to everything, again, the neighborhoods, the homes, it really checks all the boxes. It has a little higher price point, so you got to keep that in mind. But for those of you who are able to kind of come in here and make it your home, it's definitely one of the top places you can find. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of a snapshot on what Arcadia has to offer. If you think Arcadia is for you, or maybe you want to know about some other communities, let us know. Send us a comment, give us a call. Like, we're helping people from all over when it comes to finding the best places to live here, and we absolutely love it. So if you're even thinking about making a move and you have any questions, give us a call, send us a text, shoot us an email. However you want to get a hold of us, we got your back when it comes to moving to the Phoenix Metro.
Yeah, what he said.